What made you want to do this again? What was your thought process? For me, it was like a little bit of an escape from my reality. Did you have any plan of attack going into the villa? Yes. I did not come to play this season, okay? Like, do you think if Tyreek wasn't your partner, it would have been a better ending? Here's the thing. How was your relationship with the girls? They were looking at me like, you gotta go. Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Just Sayin'. Okay? Are we hype? I hope y'all are hype because I'm hype. This has been a long time coming. I've been trying to do this for like over a year. I mean, if you go to the Instagram of Just Saying, it's talking about coming soon in 2024. I'm humiliated. I lied in front of all my friends and family. It is now 2025 and we are just now starting to put this out. But y'all, I'm so excited about this. I feel like the people that have been on this channel and have been following me since even before 2024, y'all have been with me through As You Should with Selly and Comfy Couch with Selly. And it's just something that I absolutely loved. Like, I love to sit and yap, okay? Long form content is not my expertise. You know, I be trying with the vlogs, but one thing I can do is sit and yap, okay? That I can do. So I just wanted a way to like sit down, have catch ups with you guys, talk to other people with you guys, have some guests, and just like, just yap, just chit chat, just have a good kiki, you know? So I'm really so excited about this era, this new stage, and I really want to have so much fun with you guys. And I feel like I actually feel like all this happened for a reason. Me not putting it out in 2024 and putting it out now was all for a reason. I feel like now is the perfect time. As some of y'all know, your girl went back on Love Island. I was on Love Island Games for a second time and Love Island for a third time. But you know, we gonna get into that. But I just feel like this was the perfect time to put this out and just really like introduce Just Saying to you guys and just get to know each other. But also, I will say, I do apologize for the people who have been waiting for this for eons. Guys, there was so much that had to go into all of this. Long story short, I decided to be my own camera person, my own lighting person, my own sound person. And you know what? A lot of research had to go into figuring all of that out, you know? So that's also part of what took so long. But also, I'm not gonna lie, I did attempt to put this out sooner. I recorded some episodes with some people and I just wasn't happy with it. And I'm kind of a perfectionist, and that was kind of my downfall. I'm not even kidding, because I was like, dang, the longer I keep trying to like perfect this, the more it's just gonna take time before I put it out, you know? So I figured, you know what, y'all? Rather than having it perfect or whatever, or have it be this perfect vision that I wanted to be, I was like, let's just grow together, okay? It's going to be a learning curve for all of us, whether it's the sound, the lighting, the editing, whatever it is, like we're going to grow together. So I'm excited for y'all to be on this journey with me, and we're going to be chatting about all the things because, like, Lord knows we got a lot to catch up on. So much. But listen, first and foremost, we are here to chat about Love Island games. Okay. I had posted a questions box the other day and y'all sent in your questions. So we will be talking about that today. And then I think we're just going to get to know each other. And this is just going to be another yap segment of this YouTube channel where we just yap, you know, whether it's just you and me or me and somebody else, whoever y'all want to see, you let me know. We'll bring them into Just Saying. We'll just chat. We'll get some tea. We'll kiki. But for now, let's chat all things Love Island games. Because your girl went back to try to get a bigger bag. But okay, so typically I like to go in some kind of chronological order, but y'all sent these questions in and there were so many that I'm kind of just going to go through them just down the list. So they're a little bit all over the place, but we're going to get through them. And yeah. So I'm excited, y'all, and let's get into it. Let's get into it. Also, I will say there were a lot of Tyreek questions. But I am trying to get Tyreek on here, okay? Y'all go harass him and tell him before he leaves to go back to the UK, he's got to come sit on my couch and we got to chat because we got a lot to chat about. So I am going to answer some Tyreek questions, but I'm also going to save a majority of them for when he's here, if he's here. Y'all go tell him to come here, okay? But okay, so let's get into the first question. And thank you guys for sending these questions in for this Q&A. We're going to get into all of it, okay? Okay, the first question. Have you watched the season back? Y'all, no. I have not watched any of my seasons back of Love Island. Honestly, I only watched like a few episodes of Love Island Games back, like right before going in, because I was like, I gotta warm up. That was my warm up to go back to the season. But I just like physically, it cringes me out to watch myself back. So I haven't watched any of it back. And plus, we just got back like a week ago. So it's still all fresh, you know? I lived it, I was there. So, but I did watch the important things. Don't think I didn't. We'll get into that. Was it weird not being an OG this time? Were you scared of being a bombshell? I can't even explain to y'all. Because here's the thing. I had a feeling I wasn't going to be an OG this season just based on when they flew me out. Because I heard that they flew other Islanders out sooner than they flew me out. And I was like, oh, I'm going in late, but it's also like, what are the chances they make me an OG for the third time, you know? But I feel like the Love Island producers and like the franchise, this is my family, so they know me, you know? I'm like, I know they know I'm not this like Mr. Still Your Girl, you know what I'm saying? Like they know that's not really my personality, so I was like, I'm hoping if they put me in, it's not like crazy late. I don't know what their plan was. I don't know what this season's gonna bring, but I was terrified to be a bombshell. Y'all know I've never been a bombshell before. So I was scared. I was scared, especially because I'm like, I don't, I just don't give, I don't give bombshell in the way of like my personality, you know? I kind of am just like, I don't know. I'm always saying I'm like, I'm shy. I kind of am shy, but like people troll me because they're like, girl, you're not shy. You do reality TV. How are you shy? No, I'm shy, okay? Like, please, I can't do the bombshell thing. But you know what? I feel like I kind of killed it. I feel like I did okay. No? Thank you. Thank you. My first bombshell experience. I survived it. I lived it. And we kind of did great. What made you want to do this season? Whoever worded this was kind of diabolical. What made you want to do this again? What was your thought process? Was it an instant yes or did you need convincing? So it was not an instant yes for me. I had to talk a lot with my family about this because it was something that I was like, you know, when you something just goes so well, you almost don't want to ruin it. I feel like I'm like, as somebody who's won twice, I'm like, dang, do I go back? What if I don't win again? What if I don't win again? Ruin my little Love Island record, whatever. But it's also like so much went into this decision. My family and I this like past couple of months have kind of been just going through like a hard time as well. And like, y'all, we could get into that another time, but it was a hard couple of months for me, right before going into Love Island. And so when they called, it was kind of like a way for my family and I to kind of just find some kind of like peace or joy or just something, you know, like it for me it was like a little bit of an escape from my reality. And yeah, it just I think that the timing of it and me getting called back for this season was, and I feel like it always is, you know, like getting called during COVID and now as I'm going through, I think back then for season 2 of Games, I was kind of going through some emotional things like as far as heartbreak, stuff like that. And then now it just feels like I don't know. It almost feels like every time I'm called for Love Island, it's to just kind of give me a break from my reality. It's to it just help me find some kind of like peace a little. Dang. That's actually kind of deep and it's wild because I'm like even everybody know, you know, y'all know the outcome was how it played out. Obviously, I didn't win, but we came close and it was like I almost was like, dang, all this, why? What was the reason? But Now it's just like I feel like I'm slowly kind of starting to see like small signs as to what the bigger picture was. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was not an easy decision, but ultimately I was like, you know what? I feel like I need this. I feel like my family needs this. And also, I'm kind of glad I did because to get there and to find out it was $250,000, I was like, wait a minute. Let me try for this. Like this could be great. This could be fun. And yeah, Love Island Games is probably one of my favorite shows that I've ever done. So I was like, why not do it one more time? Your girl is getting to be up there. Okay. I know I'm 32. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe this could be my last little rodeo before I hang it up because realistically, will they call me again? I don't know. Will I say yes? Probably not. So I just was like, this could be a last, like, hang up my Love Island boots and see what happens. So, okay. Did you enjoy being in Johnny's alliance or would you have preferred being in Josh's side? Y'all, I didn't care what side I was on, to be fair. I was just trying to make it as far as possible, okay? I went in there as the winner of last season. I was just trying to lay low, okay? I was just trying to play a game that was going to keep me in there as long as possible. So for the entire like first half or first couple of days that I was in there, I said I will be playing both sides. Whichever side is going to help me advance in this game is the side that I will go with, okay? There was a point where I tried to even keep both sides, but ultimately we ended up having to choose. I ended up having to choose and ended up being with the side of, you know, the alliance. So it wasn't all bad. Did you have any plan of attack going into the villa? Yes. My plan of attack was lay low, bitch. Don't be seen. Don't cause a scene. Let everybody else do some crazy things. Play your game silently. Have your conversations, have your alliances on the low. Like I was trying to stay as low key as possible. I didn't want to draw any more attention to myself, so that was definitely my plan just going into the whole thing. Was this any different than season 1? You guys, this season was so different. People came to play this season. I feel like season 1 was like that tester, People were like, what's this giving? Like, what is Love Island Games? We were the test dummies a little bit. So it's like people were still like, oh, is this like Love Island? So people had that Love Island mindset still. But this time, people knew what Love Island Games was. So they came to play. So I think it was definitely a more intense game as far as the game. And I think I loved it. I loved it. I love a good competition. I love strategizing. So I was living, okay? I I loved it. How did you prepare? Did you know you were going to have a target on you? Guys, I was like training. Also, I kind of went into the villa thick. Like when they had called me for the show, I was in my thick girl era. I'm not even gonna lie. Like to me anyway, I was, becoming shaped like a woman and I was loving it for me, but I was also like, I also gotta get TV ready. So if y'all didn't hear from me, aside from everything I was going through with like family, I was also trying to like really get in shape, like look good, feel good, be as confident as I could be. I was putting in work, okay? I was training, just just really putting in that work. And honestly, I did know that I would have a target on me just simply because Johnny and I had already done the season. It's like it almost felt like people were like, they already know what this is. They know what to expect. So it's like, let's get them out of there. But thing is I did hear that some people were kind of like, well, why are they bringing them back? I genuinely think that Love Island Games, I think they're trying to make it almost like not the challenge per se, but it's like how the challenge has like returning players who are good at the game or made an impact in some kind of way. I think that Love Island Games is kind of going to emulate that. And, you know, bringing in Johnny, he was one of the strong, if not the strongest guy last season. I won last season and Toby also came back and Toby was very influential in the game last time too. So it's like, yeah, I think that if there's a Love Island Games 3, expect to see people you've seen before and don't be mad about it. Because if Johnny Bananas can get 7 rings, why can't I go and try to get 3? But yeah, so I do think that I do think that they'll keep doing that. And will you see me again? No, I'm playing. I gotta hang it up. I gotta hang it up. Let's see. Who were you close to in the villa and who did you wish you could spend more time with? So I got really close with Gabby. Like from the moment she came in, me and her were just like instant like girls, okay? It had a lot to do with us being around the same age. I think we were the two oldest people in there. She's 33, I'm 32. So immediately we would just like bond about everything, over everything. We'd just be like, girl, sometimes we look at each other and be like, yeah, yeah, we're really, we're really here. No, but Gabby was my girl. We just bonded over so much. Andreina and I kind of got close in there. We came in together. We were holding together before the challenge, before going in and after the date. So I got to know her a little bit. Her nerves were going before that challenge. Like, so we got to know each other pretty well. But I would say Gabby was probably like my closest girlfriend in there. Who did you wish you could get to spend more time with? Honestly, Tyreek, weirdly enough, because there were so many like times where we were kind of like off or separated for, different reasons or whatever, just to. So it's like we spent time together, but like there was a lot of times where we were just like, dang, like, could we have some chats? Could we just like spend time? But, we weren't always allowed to. So, and then, when you start to like spend more time together, you just like, you want more of it. And so it was just like, yeah, we didn't get as much time as probably we wanted together. Mentally, how did you deal with being on the show multiple times? That is a great question. You guys, I went in with so much anxiety about this. I was telling my family, I'm like, guys, people are going to hate me for going back again. Like, this is just going to be like terrible. I'm the only one who's going to be on there for like a third time. Child, when I got there and like half the season has done 3 or 4, even 5 Love Islands, the way that brought me peace, because I was like, okay, it's not just me, like, because I know a lot of us were in there talking about, dang, like, it's time to graduate. We got to graduate. But it's like, when everybody else kind of feels the same, it made me feel better, genuinely, because I was like, ah, what if people troll me for coming back again? But I think at the start it was a struggle, but then once I saw that other people were also there multiple times, it's like, so, and you do it too? Which season of games was your favorite? Ooh, this is tough. It's too hard to say. I feel like the first one had so many of my friends, and so that was like such an amazing thing just to be able to like be in there with all of the people that I've been friends with over so many years. But then this season, because I went in with little to no friends in there, it was more challenging, and like it brought me out of my shell, and having to like meet new people and put myself out there and like, break out of my shell a little bit. So I don't know. It's tough. But I will say, I think I had a lot more fun the first time around, just because it's like everything was unexpected. This time just felt very serious for me. Like I was locked in. Not that I wasn't locked in before, but like I did not come to play this season, okay? Like, that's why even Tyreek was like, dang, can you smile sometimes in here? No. Okay, I'm competing, but also give me a reason to smile. You just keep playing in my face. So yeah, I would probably say season 1. Do you wish you would have chose to open the box? Honestly, no, because with the back and forth that Tyreek and I were having the entire season, we needed a moment where we were like, okay, let's call a truce, and we got to start building trust, because if we're going to keep doing the rest of this game together, there has to be some kind of trust because up until that point, we were really like back and forth. Like he didn't trust me, I didn't trust him, and that still continued after that. But I think once I picked the box, I think then Tyreek kind of realized, okay, he can start to trust me a little bit. And then he did the opposite for me. I said, "Oh, so I can't trust you at all." But I did need Ty in that moment to like start to trust me, and I feel like me not picking the box did that. So yeah, no, I don't regret it because ultimately it worked out. We stayed together. I didn't go home. It was fine. How did you learn to exude confidence and can you teach me? Friend. You know what's crazy is that like Love Island has been the one thing that's given me and taught me the most about myself and like the way of growth and confidence. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like so the first season going into Love Island in 2020, I went in confident, but then my confidence was just I was humbled quickly. Quickly on that first season. I was like, "Dang. I I really thought I was that girl, but like the way it's looking in here, it's giving I'm not, you know?" So I had to kind of just rebuild that confidence and knowing like I don't need validation from other people. I'm confident in who I am, how I feel, how I look, how I dress, how I carry myself. And that's what I always had to just like take with me over and over. And let me tell y'all, Rihanna was right. Fake it till you make it, okay? Because eventually you start to see it and you start to believe it even if you don't feel it, you know? And now I'm in a place where I'm just like, yeah, I know I'm that girl. I know what I bring to the table. And so the me that went on Love Island 5 years ago, I don't even know her anymore. So that would be my little advice for you. If you don't feel it, fake it till you make it and it'll come. But also just like trust in what you bring to the table and like the way you see yourself is how everybody else is going to see you. If you think that you're not that girl, if you carry yourself like head down all the time, that's how other people will see you. You know, you just got to exude the confidence that you want people to see in you, you know? How did you feel this time around with romance with Ty than other seasons? So you know what? I know like Love Island season one, Love Island game season one. I was like, I'm not here for nothing. Da 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 da. Then got my feelings involved. Okay, this time around, I said I will not be getting my feelings involved. And also, Ty made that easy. Okay, he made it easy because it was a headache all the time. We were just back and forth too much. Like it was toxic, you know, but it was a toxic that I enjoyed. We were having fun with each other and it was like fun and flirty, whatever. But like as far as like romance and stuff, like I knew I wasn't there for anything genuinely serious and I was very much there to play the game. And this time I was like, I will not get distracted. I will not let myself fall into anything like last season. You know what I mean? So even though you were like, oh, maybe open up, da 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 da. Like, I definitely am always open to the process if it's the right person. I'm always open to meeting somebody if it's the right person, if everything is falling into place, if it makes sense, that all the boxes are ticked. And Ty is an amazing, amazing guy. But like, I think we were both on the same page of like, we're just here to play, you know? So I will say the difference is like, I had fun with the whole process of Love Island games last time because I feel like I got a little bit of everything of what Love Island games is supposed to be. I felt like I had a connection, not real. I felt like I had a good connection in there, but also it was like a fun game. But this time it just felt like it was just game, you know? So, but I still had a great time. I still had a blast. Favorite challenge and least favorite challenge. Least favorite challenge, the baby bird. Do we even have to ask? Like, please, Love Island producers, remove it. We don't need it anymore, you know? Actually, no, keep it. For the other islanders that are coming, they must suffer as well, like the like we all did. But favorite challenge, I would say I don't think I had a favorite challenge. I really don't. Cause I'm a sore loser to be honest. And the one I did with Josh with the balloon, we lost that. The mega duel we lost, girl. Like I just hard season for me in the way of challenges, okay? Who is the best dressed in the villa? Y'all, Zay be ranch dressing, okay? He looked so good all the time. Like his fashion sense, I was telling him, I was like, you gotta come out and put out fashion content immediately. Y'all gotta go spam him and be like, we need the fashion content because every day it just ate. He just has like a good eye for like pieces and the way he accessorizes, just like chef's kiss. Do you sometimes choose not to tell your game strategy in confession for certain reasons? You know what's crazy? I talked all my game in my beach huts every day. They just didn't air it. And I didn't talk a lot of game in the villa because I didn't want the islanders to know what I was on, but I wanted America to know what I was on. I wanted all you guys to know where my head was at all times and like what my game plan was. So I was constantly telling you guys everything. I was acting like we were sat here on my little podcast like, guys, so this is what I'm gonna do next. Okay, this is where my head is at. But I haven't watched it back, but it's giving that didn't air. So yeah, I feel like a lot of my game plans weren't really aired. What's your lip combo that absolutely didn't budge during the whole season? That's so crazy. I've been getting a lot of this question and I'm surprised because I'm like, really? I feel like every time Tyreek and I kissed, it was just off my face and on his face. But girl, I'm gonna give it to you. My lip liner is MAC lip liner shade Night Moth. It's been that for years. I'll never steer away from it. It's my favorite. And then I just do like a lip oil. And sometimes I'll do like a nude like NYX or NARS like just nude shade in the middle. Sometimes I'll do that or sometimes I'll just do the lip oil and then always lip oil on top. And the lip oil I use like Dior or Elf or just any lip oil, you know? Or if you prefer gloss, but I prefer lip oil. You're a queen. Do you feel like Tyreek held you down in challenges? I feel like Tyreek and I didn't really do too many challenges together. I feel like because then we had to like compete in the teams and things like that. So we competed in the Baby Bird challenge and we did we went into that challenge like not on great terms, but we had to have like a little we gonna do this or not. It's business is business in it, you know? But yeah, I feel like he looked at me and was like, cause he knew I still didn't want to go for Josh in that moment. He looked at me, he's like, hey, this is where you prove your loyalty. Where you at? Are you with us or are you with him? You know? So I had to make a decision in that moment. But we that challenge went exactly the way we wanted, and so yeah, we definitely were able to just put our differences aside. We knew what we had to do. We knew who we had to go for. So it all worked out. And then what other challenge? And then I don't think we had another challenge together until the Mega Duel, to be honest, if I'm remembering that correctly. But I will say, for the most part, yes. He held me down or whatever. I held him down. He always said, he was the brain, I was the muscle. So honestly, I would say I held him down in the challenges. So, did you like that America could vote this time and that it was live or was last season better? Y'all, I went into this season shaking in my boots. I was telling my family, I was like, what if America doesn't even want me back? Like, what if they're judging me for coming back? And the fact that it was live, I was like, oh, that might be another reason why I'm up out of here. But then my family was like always reminding me, like, hey, the real ones will always they'll always stick beside you or whatever. And I think my happiest moment was when I was vulnerable and it was down to America's vote and I was safe. That was the moment that I was like, oh, we're still a family. Like, and it like that was the one thing that probably brought me the most joy in there because that was like my biggest doubt. Like, and I know it sounds bad, not me doubting y'all, but it's just like, when you do something so much, you start to wonder, like, are people going to be sick of me? Like, are y'all going to be like, but then to come off and y'all are talking about till the wheels fall off, like, what else you about to be on? Like, we want to see you on more stuff. I'm like, oh, No, it really honestly brought me so much joy, and I just love y'all so much. And so, and I do think I prefer that America can kind of be involved, you know? I think, but it's crazy because I think going in I was seeing things about you guys just being like, "Nah, keep it like it was." But I'm glad America had votes because I think if it was like last season, a lot of the votes coming down to the Islanders, I would have been out of there. Nobody wanted me in that game. So I think you guys saving me and you guys being involved definitely helped keep me in the game as long as I was. So I was so happy, and I like that you guys can be involved in the show, you know? What's your favorite thing about Ty? I would have to say his honesty. Like, this man is honest, okay? Sometimes a little too honest, but it's something that I, at my big old age and as a woman, can appreciate, especially because I haven't always been with the most honest people in the past. So it's like, I'm a big girl. I can handle whatever you got to say, whatever. So I like genuinely appreciate that he's just always like, he says everything. He says it with facts. He says it with his chest. And it's like, he gonna stick beside it. So yeah, I think my biggest pet peeve is being lied to and dishonesty. So that's, I definitely appreciate that about Ty a lot. Do you watch your own Love Island seasons, and what's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself? So, like I said, I've not watched my Love Island seasons, but you know what's crazy, you guys? So, before doing every season, we do a psych test, and every single psych, so every year they'll compare like notes. They'll compare like where you were at, like psychologically, mentally, whatever, and compare it to where you are now. Like, so every year I've taken the test, they've been like, hey, so this is where you differ, this is where you were at before, this is where you're now. And the craziest thing is every single year, so when I did Love Island Games the first time, she was like, okay, so the difference is like now you're very, very like, she said you're a little bit more guarded than the first time. Your test said that you got a little bit of a guard up. You're not as like very like, not optimistic, but apparently the first time I took the test, I was very just lala loopsy about life. I was very like green, I was very like, oh my God, rainbows and butterflies. Everybody give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Took the test again for the second time for Love Island Games. Apparently, my psyche said, guard up. And then this time when I took it, she said, girl, you don't trust at all. Not that I had trust issues, but she was like, your guard is up. Like, you're very protective of yourself. You're very protective of your, and like, this is like my favorite part. Like, I love learning about myself and seeing the different ways that I've grown. And it's like a test that tells me that based on just and it's the same test. We take the same test every single year. And so it's just crazy how like every single year I get to see like my growth in the ways that I've changed. And yeah, I guess now I'm just very I'm guarded girl. I'm protective. Okay. I said prove your loyalty to me. So I do think that those are different ways that like I've grown in real life, and just like the ways that I've grown like from Love Island. I think Love Island has taught me a lot of like my biggest life lessons about myself even. So I always find that to be so interesting. Ugh. Somebody said, so one of y'all said, it was hard watching Ty plot against you. How did you feel about it? Are things different with you and Tyreek now that you know all the things he was saying about you? So, and I think we'll talk about this more if Ty comes on the show, but um, not the show, on the episode, but we beefed, okay? So once I came off, I was told some of the things that he was saying about me by like the other Islanders and stuff, and y'all, I was sick because it's like I knew we were both playing each other, we were playing a game, but then to hear him be like, "Oh, I'm gonna manipulate her, get her to fall in love." First of all, be so for real, get me to fall in love with you, and come on. But also, it's just like to know that he was intentionally like trying to toy, not just in a game sense, but like emotionally. I was like, "Oh, you really thought." So I was like, I was upset, but I was also like, it's a game. it's also Tyreek, but he also, once we spoke about it, he was like, it was after the whole you picking Josh thing. That really like upset him for real. Like he was sick. And so he was saying that that moment happened after that. And then after that, we were kind of like good once we established a trust or whatever. So I was like, as long as this energy didn't carry on throughout the show, because I was like, at what point were we like actually partners, but we were both kind of just had very little trust with each other. We were both playing each other, so I couldn't really be too upset. He just was more vocal about it. I keep my stuff on the low. But yeah, we did like not fight, but like I did get upset. He took accountability, he apologized, he explained what it was, whatever. But, it wasn't that deep. Like, I just can't take things in a game setting too personally because I love playing games. Like, I love this, and it's like, it's a competition and I understand that. And it's like, people are going to do what they got to do to win. And, you know, kudos. I'd do it to you too. So, fair game. Who was running your socials because they did that? Okay. I love this because I trust Adele with my life. Okay. She ran my page the first season in Vegas in 2020 and she killed it. Like she's never done this before and she did such an amazing job. And every time even when I was in the show, producers would be like, "Girl, who's running your page?" And I'd be like, "My sister, why? Like what's happening out there?" And they'd be like, "She's killing it." And so going into this season, I knew exactly where to go. She just has such like that brain. She has an eye. She knows things. Sometimes I'm like, girl, can you quit nursing and just run my life and socials and stuff? But yes, it was Adele. I heard that some of y'all thought it was Sally, but I don't know. And maybe they consulted some things with each other, but no, I think Adele. I mean, Sally was busy working, so I doubt it. But yes, it was Adele. Would you have done anything differently? That's tough because I think I did everything that I could with what I had. Like, I was trying to weigh out every scenario and, like, how can I win this? And everything that could have been done was done. Like, and, there were points where I was like, I know that I could probably win this with Josh and, like, we'd probably be better competitors together because, I mean, Tyreek said it himself. He was like, I got one challenge in me. I got one duel in me. And then, he's like, I'm not really here to duel. I'm just here to like play the mind games. And he crushed that. But he wasn't that confident in having to actually duel. And even if I was confident in him, if he's not confident in himself, I was like, well, you know, um, but yeah, I do think that everything that I could have done in there, I did. So I think it played out the way it was supposed to. So no, I wouldn't really do anything differently. How was your relationship with the girls? Okay, the girls were so sweet and like just we're all so close now and like everything is amazing, but I will say they were looking at me like, you gotta go. Like, as soon as I walked in, I just felt like I could feel the energy. And it was a little bit tough at the start to like get in with them, not even in the way of like, I don't know. I could read and I could pick up that like, they're like, and then also coming in as a bombshell and then I'm having to chat to all of their guys. Like, I just knew it made people like not uncomfortable, but it's nobody likes that, bombshells have to bombshell and then the people that are OGs, it's like they don't like it. I know it because I've been there. I don't like it. So but yeah, but eventually we became like very close. And but yeah, I think in the game sense it was really tough to get in with the girls, so that's why I had to kind of just be in cahoots with the guys all the time. And plus a lot of the girls weren't really like necessarily playing the game, so all we could talk about was really like the connections. And my connection was very flippity floppity. Every time they would check in with me, I'd be like, well, I don't know if Tyreek's gonna make me breakfast today. So yeah, and then check-ins would be like, so Justine, which one of our men are you interested in? So it was like one of those things, but everybody was so sweet and still funny and we still had our girl moments and stuff, but eventually we did all get very close. Yeah. Would you have built an alliance with more girls if more girls were open to strategy? Yes. And you know what? Me and Nicola were this close to like trying to switch up the game. But because she started to clock in and like Nicola played an amazing game. She was playing for herself for real. Like she to me, she played a very like, she just did like, even just she just did what she needed to do all the time in there and she got it done. You know what I'm saying? Um, and there was a point where we looked at each other and once I clocked that she had started to like play for real too, we were on to something. But then of course at that point they had put us into two teams and then we had to compete in teams rather than in couples, which if we had competed in couples I think that would have switched some things up, because as far as numbers, if me and Nicola like clicked and we're on the same page. But yes, I definitely would have. I wanted Andreina to lock in with me. I wanted like, yeah. The answer is yes. Do you think if Tyreek wasn't your partner, it would have been a better ending? I mean, it's hard to say because it's like Zay came ready. Tyreek and I, we did our absolute best. Like, I don't think that me and Tyreek losing was solely based on Tyreek at all. Like, it was a team effort and we lost that together. So, I don't know. I mean, who's to say? Like, do I think me and Johnny being coupled up would have crushed it? Probably. Maybe me and Josh, but like you just never know how things go in, like unless you see it, you don't know. So, but I don't know. I genuinely don't know. How did you really feel about Josh and his semantics about being transparent? Here's the thing. I do wish Josh would have taken a moment and just been like, hey, real quick update. I think I'm going to go with Andrea. I think that would have just made, it would have changed a lot of things because, one, maybe Tyreek and I wouldn't have had this back and forth because that's what kind of started it. But also, I was trying to stay coupled up with Josh to protect him from the alliance because after having a few chats with them, the alliance and Toby, Toby was like, listen, we're gonna take a shot at Josh. And I'm like, I'm like, well, for me, I need Josh here. Like, I need him for my own game. I'm trying to play both sides because I don't know if I can fully trust the alliance. I don't know if I can fully trust Josh. But if you know what I mean, but if I got numbers, I'm gonna need to keep all my numbers in here. And with them kind of going up against each other, I was like, well, maybe if I put myself in the middle, it'll, hold off this little fire. And I had a conversation with Toby and I was like, so listen, if I'm with Josh though, are you gonna go for him or are you still gonna try to take a shot at him? And he was like, well, if you're coupled up with Josh, we would have to wait until the next time he's not in a couple with you. I don't know how true that was, but based on that information, I tried to stay in a couple with Josh as long as possible because if I'm with a couple with Josh, it would allow me to, if ever we won power couple or if ever the other side was trying to go for any of the alliance, I would kind of just be like, no, we're not doing that because I need their numbers, and vice versa. If they're not gonna gun for Josh because he's with me, then it keeps Josh in the game and it keeps a number for me. So that was essentially my thought process in trying to keep Josh. Um, but after he chose Andrea and like the sides just had to be what they were, I just had to go with the with the alliance. So yeah. If you had the chance to couple up with someone different, who would it have been? So I actually went in there with Chris as my number one. It just seemed like the thing that made the most sense. He's strong, he looked like he'd be a good competitor, but also it's like if I am it open in any way to the romantic side of things, Chris is really like the only one I don't really know, and it would be like somebody I could get to know. He's kind of from the newest season, so I don't know much about him. So there was like an intriguing factor there. And plus, I did see moments of him last season and I liked the way he carried himself. He was like mature, you know. Um but it was a hard thing to navigate because going in there, I also like, it was just hard because like I tried to be as respectful as possible with KK because, you know, we were also like, it just was tough. But yeah, I think, and then also, I don't know, it just, the way things played out, I think Tyreek was definitely a better partner for me. He played an amazing social game. And like I said, and like he said, you know, he was the brains, even though I definitely was playing my own game and like whatever, but he definitely did a lot to get things like moving in there. Um and yeah, and then we were just able to kind of like be a strong couple with each other. So I do think that Tyreek was definitely the better couple to have been with in the game for sure. What helps you what helps you stay calm at times when you are low key justified to crash out? So you know what's crazy? It's actually not hard for me because I'm just not a crash out person. I hate confrontation. I'm a very emotional person too, and like even in moments of confrontation, I like my voice gets shaky. I tend to cry. I just don't, it's not really in me, you know? Um I'm not, yeah, I just don't really have crash out moments. But in moments like when Tyreek picked the box, I think even when I'm angry through my silence. Like you'll see it in my face. I've never been like, I don't know, I'm just not a crash out kind of girl. So it's not really like hard for me, I guess. Um, do you and Johnny ever consider coupling up strictly for, did you and Johnny ever consider coupling up strictly for the money? So, you know, what's crazy is that, like, Johnny and I did an After Sun episode early on in the game, and Sally is the one who actually asked the question. She was like, Johnny, would you couple up with Justine for the game? And in that moment, I was like, huh. Because it is something where I was like, Johnny's strong, but we're like kind of rivals. We've been rivals for so long. Like, but when she asked that and then he was like, yeah, I think we could kill it. In that moment, I was like, okay, yeah, I could. So for a majority of the game, honestly, I tried to keep Johnny in my back pocket. You know, I was like, if need be, if there comes a time where I need to like, you know, but I knew if I was going to make that decision, it would have to be towards the end because me being in a couple with Johnny for longer than a day, you know, like I wanted to do it when we absolutely had to towards the end to make that decision. And knowing that he was also open to it, I'm like, okay, if the time is right, maybe we do this and we'll just see how the game goes. But then when Gabby came in, I knew instantly that ship had sailed. I said, there goes my plan B. So yeah, Johnny was definitely, we never even got to have the conversation. I do remember when, or yes, I did pull him just to kind of pick his brain after him and Gabby coupled up, and he was like, "Yeah, no, my decision paid off, and now I have a great partner, and Gabby and I are gonna be go to the final together." And in that moment, I was like, "Yeah, he's not gonna leave her." So yeah, so I would have for the game, because obviously I know he's strong, and if I would have definitely tried to like convince him to couple up with me for that. But yeah, once Gabby came in, I was cooked. I was Dunyan rings. Did you see anything romantic happening with you and Josh again do you see anything romantic happening with you and Josh again in the future? No. Josh and I obviously came in friends, and you know, we got into a couple. Love Island be doing Love Island things to people, so we were like, why not see whatever? But ultimately, we are just friends, and like I think that nothing more than that would happen with me and Josh. But you know, we were like, why not see? What's a kiss like? So yeah. What's next for Justine? We need to see you on another show. You guys are so, like, I can't even tell you what that means to me because you know, it's like I know that there's so many reality TV people who do so many different shows or the same show, like The Challenge or something. People have been doing that for years. And you know, with Love Island, it gets like it gets tricky because it is such it because it is a dating show, you know, and it's like to see you get heartbroken all over again or whatever the reasons, people don't necessarily want to see me put myself in a situation like that. But also for me, I'm also ready to just be in a stage of like elevation and different things, you know? Like I think this chapter of my life, this was a great way to just close it out maybe. Um but it makes me so happy to hear that you guys still want to see me on TV and still want to, watch me and stuff and support and stuff. Like I can't even explain to you when I came off and I my sister told me the love that I was still getting. Genuinely, I'm not even kidding. After losing, I couldn't sleep, and like we didn't get our phones back after the mega duel. Whatever, we didn't get our phones back for like 2 or 3 days. I kid you not. In those like 2 to 3 days, I couldn't sleep. I could as dramatic as it sounds, it's like it just I think it was just worse because it's like we were right there. I could taste it. But it just felt like, and also with everything going on at home, winning the season just felt really important to me. So it just felt like such a hard loss this time, because I wasn't just doing it for me or like some title or whatever. I was, really doing it for my family. And everything I do is for my family. But this time, it just felt like it was just important for me to win this for them. Um, yeah, I just feel like when I was able to kind of come off and see that I was still being supported, because I was like, damn, imagine I lost and like people are like, great, I'm glad she lost, like boo, stop coming back. That would have like crushed me even more. So to come off and like to still see the love and support that like y'all still continuously give me year after year, show after show, like it I finally was able to sleep. Once I got my phone back and saw that, I was like, okay, all of my fears, all of that is like, it's all good. And like, that brought me so much joy and so much peace that I can't even explain to y'all. And so, yeah, just to even like hear you guys say that comment of like, we want to see more of you, like, that makes me so happy because I really do enjoy it. So I hope y'all aren't getting sick of me. I do enjoy reality TV. I don't enjoy getting my heart, whatever, whatever, whatever. We're in a different place. The psych test said we guarded, we're here, we're confident. But, I really appreciate that from you guys, genuinely. Why did you and most people stand behind Zay and not Lucinda? I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I stood behind Zay because to me, Zay played a great game. He made some hard decisions, he made some big decisions. He played both sides when he needed to. He did what he had to do. You know what I mean? Like, put that man on the challenge. Put him on something like, I do think if you're thinking in a game sense, he played a great game. Not that Lucinda didn't. I just think that she was just happy to be there, I think, and like even in moments where she would also say it herself, she'd be like, you know. Um but I also do think that hearing a little bit about Zay's background and like Zay's life, I think that he was so deserving and he's such a good person, and so is Lucinda. But I just think that for me, in the game sense, he played a great game. I saw him make moves, I saw him kill it. He deserved it. Did you know you and Tyreek were Mr. and Mrs. Smith? So I didn't know that kind of caught on the outside, but Tyreek did say it one day. We were, I think, in Beach Hut or something, or maybe we were in the villa, and he was just like, dang, like, we have no trust. We keep doing this to each other. He's like, we're like the black Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And it killed me because I was like, no, yeah, you're right. Every day, gun to each other's head, but we're kind of like a married couple now? Um, but yeah. Did they yell out the time during the last duel like last season? I actually don't remember them yelling out the time last season, but no, we didn't. Even for duels, for mega duels, for challenges, we never knew when the clock was running out. So we just had to do what we were going to do. And when the time runs out, it runs out. We never knew when it was running out? So there was never like a countdown. Would you be interested in becoming the host of Love Island Games or a regular season? Yes, you guys. Like, I've wanted to transitioned to the other side of things for a while now, and I just think that everything is about timing. And you know, I've tried to get into the right rooms with the right people and conversations with the right people and stuff like that, but I just ultimately think that you know, the timing of things, it just wasn't right maybe. But um also Ariana kills it, first of all. Like as much as I would love to be a host, I think she's like the host. Like, you know what I mean? She's elite. So, but as far as like any hosting opportunities, I would love that, which is also why I'm trying to get more comfortable with things like this so I can, put myself out there in a different light. You know what I mean? But yes, I would love to host something, because I do think that with the experience I've had as an islander, like I just feel like, I got some things to say. I got some things I could, I feel like I know the other side of things as well, so I just feel like I would love to eventually like transition to that side of things. Are you single? Yes. Yes. Let's just clarify that. Yes. Okay? Um, but also I'm like go before going into the show, I was very like happy in my singlehood. Like for the first time, I did a reel about this. I was very much like I'm happy where I'm at. Like I'm focused and I'm ready to just like grind. And yeah, I'm like if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I'm great. I'm solid. Like I'm no longer necessarily looking for it. If it comes, great? Where did you get your villa outfits and bikinis from? So every time I do shows like Love Island and stuff like that, and I have to get like a million bikinis, honestly, Shein. Like you get so many for such a low price, and they're very like so many patterns, colors, prints, all the things. But I also had a lot of brands like send me different things as far as like swimsuits and clothes. So I didn't have to get a lot of stuff. The only thing I really do actually get are swimsuits, and it's affordable on Shein. So, um but I will be linking as far as my outfits. Most of my clothes are from like Outcast, Pepper Mayo. And I can link some stuff for y'all if you just let me know which ones you want links to. I got you. I got you. Would you ever go to London or move there? Guys, I can't believe that I haven't already been. Like, I know way too many people in London, not just like from Love Island, from the challenge. Like, I have so many friends out there now that it's crazy that I haven't been. And also, it's just like it's somewhere I would like to see and visit. France even, but yes, as far as move, I'd have to be like in love or something. Like, it'd have to be like because I just feel like it's very cold there. It's very, I mean, the guys were saying they're like they don't get a lot of sunlight. It's just you can't beat LA weather. So, but, if ever there was a reason for me to move, I'd consider it. It's not like a hell no. Are you fully Congolese or half Kenyan and half Congolese because I'm confused? Friend, I'm sorry. I do claim both heavy, so I get the confusion. So I was born in Congo. Um and I lived there till I was 4, and then from 4 to 8 I lived in Kenya. So because I don't really remember much of like my first 4 years of life, I claim Kenya pretty heavy because I do remember parts of Kenya. So, yeah, but I'm Congolese. I just claim Kenya because I remember her. What other reality shows would you like to compete on? Guys, I want to compete on Traders so bad. I've been up for Traders like 2 or 3 times and it just hasn't worked out. So I'm like, fingers crossed I get to do it one of these days. Like, because I love that game. Like I'm somebody who plays Mafia with my family all the time, just like for shits and gigs, and I just would love it. And I feel like again, I just feel like maybe it was a timing thing. Like I'm also more confident. Like I'm not always the most confident in like public speaking type of like group settings. Like even when I don't know if you'll notice anytime I have to give like a recoupling speech, I'm very like, oh, I'm shy in those moments, you know? Um, and so I think the more I get like confident and I'm just like, not, it's not even that I'm not confident, it's just like I get nervous, like with public speaking a little bit. So I'm like, now that I'm getting more confident with that, I'm like, maybe now's the time. We never know. But I would love to compete on traders. A lot of people want me to go back on challenge, and I want to go back on challenge too, but it's scary and it's very hard. It's so hard, you guys. Like, and the thing is Love Island Game season 1 was so, I don't want to say easy, but it felt easy because I had done the challenge. And the challenge that I did was the CBS spinoff, which apparently to the real challengers was like the bootleg easier version. So I'm like, I can't imagine how much harder than that it can get, you know? Um, but yes, I think I would be open to going back. I just would be terrified the whole time. Y'all would have to just watch me be scared, okay? But one thing I can do is Sudoku now, okay? Don't get it twisted. Your girl will never go out on Sudoku ever again. Um, but also it's just like the challenge brought out a fear of heights that I didn't even know I had. And you would think the more I did it in every challenge that it would get easier. No, my fear of heights got worse. And then the long distance swimming, babes. What are we doing? You know? It's hard, but it's fun and I enjoy it, but it's like I would have to like lock in a way that I've never locked in. I For the real one anyway. Real challenge, you know? But I do want to compete on those two shows. Do you see yourself going on more shows? Um, yes, I genuinely enjoy reality TV. I don't even want to say it's like, not that it's like my full-time job or whatever, but reality TV is always that nice like break because we're all trying to like aspire to for our long-term goals, and like we're constantly trying to put out content and grind, and reality TV is always just like a nice break from my reality. Like I was saying, whenever I'm going through something, it's just such a way to just like leave this all for like a short period of time and just be engulfed in a game or like an environment where you're just either trying to find love, which we're not doing that anymore unless I'm on some kind of I'm the Bachelorette type situation. You will not see me on another dating show, I fear, okay? um but any other shows, I'm definitely open to that. So hopefully y'all will see me on more shows. And you know what? I don't know. And thing is, that's the other thing is as much as I want to say I'm done with dating shows, it's like there are times where I'm like, I am single and yes, I date on the outside and I've met great people on the outside, but I've also met great people on reality TV as well. Great is crazy. I have met people on reality TV that have been a part of my growth, you know? And so I never want to say that I'm fully closed off to it, but I am going to take a very giant break from dating on reality TV. So, yes, you will see me hopefully on more shows, just probably more competition and less dating, you know? If another Love Island opportunity comes up for you, would you do it? So, here's the thing. I think for me, trying to close this chapter, I think the only like Love Island related type of show I would do would maybe be like a Beyond the Villa, because it's more of like a docu series and it just kind of would follow my life, and that I would do definitely because it's it's not costumes for one, because let me tell you, I've outgrown the costumes and all of that, so it would just be a different type of like show that I think I would definitely be more interested, especially because it would allow you guys to see me in a different light and in like my real world setting and things that I'm going through, and like just different. So I think that's the only thing Love Island related that I would like be open to as far as like show, you know? Would you do Love Island All Stars? You know what? You know what? Here's the thing though. The thing that I do like about regular Love Island seasons is that they are longer and like on All Stars and stuff like that, people like a lot more relationships are making it because it's like people are coming back in a place in their lives where they're actually ready for something. You know, I think most people when they do their first Love Island season, aside from me, was like I don't know, sometimes they're just going in there just for shits and gigs, you know what I mean? So it's like so unserious. But I think by the time people get to All Stars, which is what I can actually appreciate about it and what we're seeing like relationships working through that is because people are going in actually ready this time, you know, and grown and mature and in that stage where they're like, yeah, I could settle down. And it's like 6 weeks, whereas Love Island Games is like 3 weeks. So it's harder to really like make any real connection. Somehow I found a way. Um, but you know, the longer time you spend with people, I think those are the times, and especially spending longer with people and being in that place in your life where you are ready for something does allow for potentially, you know, things actually working out on the outside. So that's what I'm like. I can appreciate like things like, you know, seasons like All Stars or like a regular Love Island season, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that my husband is on Love Island. Although y'all know I love a UK man, I do think my husband is in the UK somewhere. He over there. He over there. I believe it. I know. I just have to go there and visit, you know? Maybe I'll just have like a Beyond the Villa in the UK. Somebody give me a Beyond the Villa in the UK and let me date around. How's your heart and how are you really? This question always warms my heart. Sometimes when I put up questions boxes on my Instagram and somebody always asks this. I don't know if it's the same person, but I don't know, it always hits home because it's such a real question. You know, you get so consumed and, you know, just distracted with life and all the things that like when somebody is like, how's your heart? You take a moment and you're like, how is my heart? You know, and like I always do that every time I read it. Um my heart is my heart is good. I'm in a place like, you know, as far as like it's tough because like I said, you know, I have a lot going on personally and I even feel like some of you like peeped it, you know, because I know I be disappearing. Even people on Snapchat are like, "Girl, you be going silent." I know, and I'm sorry. I go silent a lot because like I need to check in a lot with myself and like my family, my life, like you know, just things off camera. And so yeah, I'm good. I think Love Island Games going back was such a great decision because even just like career wise, it was so and I'll say it again over and over, it was just so beautiful to see. God, not me emotional. Just to see how far we have all come together, you know, and like to still have this community of people who ride y'all like it's so crazy. Like Tyreek and his friends were literally saying they were like, "Oh, you're loved," and I was like, "Y'all are loved too." They're like, "No, you are loved. Like we see it every day." Like they were joking. They were like, "It's giving. There's Michelle Obama and then there's you," and I just can't help but laugh because it's like that's how much y'all really ride. Like and people see it and like recognize it, and I do, and like, whew, and in moments when I need to see it or be reminded, you know, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful for real. Um, but yeah, but like in so many ways, my heart is good and I'm good, you know, but there's also ways where I'm like, I'm healing, I'm growing, I'm doing all the things, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. And you know what? I love that y'all are still here with me as I continue to do my best, you know? Um, because it ain't easy. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. Why am I emotional? There's a lot of stuff that goes on just like behind the scenes, you know, work wise, family wise, career wise, all the things emotionally, relationship wise that, you know, I don't always share with you guys or, you know, you might not always know that I'm going through. So it's just like in the moments where I am able to like open up and be vulnerable about things or let you guys in as my like support system and family. It's just it's nice. I love having y'all, man. I love having y'all in my life and my corner for real. And yeah, and so in those ways I'm great and my heart is happy and it's full and I'm so appreciative. Whew! But yeah, so thank you for whoever asked that question and sorry for the emotion, man. That's crazy. Okay, what is something career-wise that you haven't done that you would like to do? That is a great question. Great question. A lot. To be honest, I would love to be the host of something. I would love to walk like a Victoria's Secret fashion show. I think that's been like a dream since I was working at 9 to 5. Somehow I said I would love to do that. And to just start my own brand of swimwear. I know I've been talking about this for eons and it's just like I know some of y'all are like, well, just do it. There's so much that goes into things that I've just been trying to like get into motion. Things need to be in the right place. So it's like, it's not that I'm not working on certain things. It's just sometimes about timing. It's about the right people behind you. You know what I mean? Just so many different things. So, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know, being on like Basketball Wives. Kidding. But yeah, no, there's so much and like I just continue to just pray on it, and grind and do the best that I can. But, and power of manifestation, and prayer. So, and this is the last question. Hey Queen, what do you want to conquer next? That's a great question. I think all of the things that I said, I want to be in a place where I can like fully support my entire family. You know what I mean? Like I think that to be in such a financially stable place where you could just be like, Mom and Dad, what you need? Sis, what you need? Like, and y'all know I love my family down. And there's an army of us, so I'm always just like the thing that I want to conquer next is to be able to just like always continue to provide for my family and just take care of them. Whew, child, this was long. Anyways, you guys, I know this was long, but we needed to catch up. We had to talk about Love Island games. We had to talk about all the things. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the first episode of Just Sayin. There will be more of these to come, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, you guys, I love y'all so much. If you're not already following me or subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Guys, also, I've been having a time on Snapchat. Are y'all following me on Snapchat? I'm brand new over there, but like I'm going a little crazy. I'm having a time. So, y'all know my social handles at Justine Joy. Follow me. Thank you so much for always supporting me, you guys. And till the wheels mother effing fall off. Okay. And also, I just found out that like we are now Justine League. I love that. I love that because I kept wanting to be like, dang, like what can I call you guys? Like what can I call my family? Because I'm always just like family, friends, sis. But like, yes, we are. This is the league, okay? And whoever came up with that, genius. I love it. Okay. And y'all just be coming up with the best things. Y'all came up with Just Saying. You came up with Justine League. I love it. I love it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this. Let me know more of what you want to see, who you want to see on here, what you want to talk about. We're just gonna be yapping, okay? And we're gonna grow together. We're gonna love together. Love together. Yeah, I said what I said. And yeah, so thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.